anything is possible. And I say that with the most sincere belief. Anything is possible. The question is, will you put in the work? Hi, my name is Rob Swanson, and if you love the idea of designing your life, you're in the right place. This is the show about real estate, money, and life to get you motivated and help you navigate the road to freedom. Whether you want to start investing in real estate, scale your business to the next level, or sit back and reap the rewards from passive income, I'm here to help you achieve freedom in all areas of your life. So now, sit back and enjoy. This is the Real Estate Mogul Podcast. Hey, all right, everybody. Rob Swanson here, back with another episode of the Real Estate Mogul Podcast. And in today's episode, I want to take a little deviation from some of the heavy talking about market and economy and the Fed and all of the things that we've been talking about over the last couple of episodes. And I want to talk about something that, as a guy who for the last 20 plus years has invested in real estate successfully and has gone through many iterations of the market and has quote unquote reinvented my approach to real estate investing a number of times as the market has shifted, I want to talk about what causes some people to succeed and others to fail. And this perspective and this point of view is coming from the perspective of being a real estate investor, but also having coached people in the real estate investing space for a long time. The nature of this topic or this conversation came up. I was having a discussion in the conference room here at my office with my head coach, Mike, who has worked with me in a variety of capacities for the last almost 15 years, so a decade and a half. And when he first joined the team, he joined as my head of acquisition. So he came out of the mortgage business as the mortgage business was imploding and falling apart. And he had a desire to learn real estate investing and understand what I was doing and how I was doing it and get involved at some level. And it just so happened that at that moment, and this was back in late 2007, early 2008, at that moment, I was in the process of putting a large capital fund together with a big capital group out of Stamford, Connecticut. And I was looking for somebody to lead acquisition, somebody that would sort of watch our acquisitions KPIs, sort of oversee our offers, our repair estimates, really run the are we buying it right side of the business. And this, and I wanted somebody that wasn't coming into real estate investing with a preconceived idea of how it should go, what it should look like, what a deal was or what a deal was not, but someone that I could teach along the way and really put in a position to learn my system of real estate investing, evaluate properties in a way that made sense, and go to work and help make it happen. So our conversation earlier today, sitting in the conference room, was talking about a group of our existing coaching students. And some of them were accelerated fast to success. And others were taking a longer period of time and were on the right track, but weren't quite there yet. And so it begged the question, what is it that causes someone to succeed and another to fail? And the question came about not only by looking at the group of students, and these are outside of our immediate sphere. They're in our audience. They've followed us for a period of time. They've gotten value out of free content that we've put out. They've recognized, hey, these guys know what they're talking about when it comes to real estate investing. But outside of that, they're outside of our sphere. And so they weren't connected directly to us except through our role as real estate investor educators and influencers, trying to influence people to improve and better their life. And so we then started to say, okay, if this is the cohort of people, and some are accelerating their way to success, and others were going slower, on the right path but going slower, what are the common denominators, and what are the things that are different between these two groups of people? We then looked internally and we said, okay, what is happening internally? Because as a leader in my business, I am all about people participating and eating the candy that we create, okay? And that is participating in the wealth building function of investing in real estate. And when I say the wealth building function of investing in real estate, that can take a couple of different twists and turns. That can be very cash generating, like increase your income, generate cash, or that could be very wealth building, cash flow building, and build your portfolio. So either generate cash or increase your cash flow are kind of the two buckets. And I started to look internally because last year I did a team training. This was internal to my team. And I took them on it was either an 8 or a 10-week journey where every week after our Friday team meetings, I spent 90 minutes teaching my internal team how to invest in real estate. And, through that process, some people decided they were interested. Others decided they were not interested. Both decisions are okay, but a decision was made. Some of the people that made the decision that they were interested put in the work and started to go to work and started to make it happen. And so just this week, one of the guys here on the team closed, or it might have been last week, closed another deal. And so he walked into my office earlier in the week, and he said to me, hey, I'm starting to think about how when I flip these houses and generate cash, at what point do I start to buy and hold and start to build my wealth? And when he first made the jump in, he had never, he was working in the software side of our business, and he was interacting with our software users, and he was seeing successful real estate investors on a regular basis that he was having conversations with, and he was seeing their business, and he was seeing how they were using our software, and he was seeing how it was helping them be successful. And then he went through the process of the team training, and he got to the point where he said, you know what? I'm in. I think I want to do this. And so he started to take action. And we told him to do the exact things that we teach our coaching students to do. But there was one difference that he had that I recognized as Mike and I were having this conversation earlier today, that our coaching students aren't getting, that Henry in the office was getting, and that was proximity. He had direct proximity around the environment that was 100% pro. You can do real estate investing and succeed. There's never a conversation around my office that ever suggests that real estate investing is too hard, doesn't work, isn't going to happen, you can't make money. There's no negative conversation ever around real estate investing because it's what created my success. It's what changed my life 20 some years ago and has been the catalyst for changing my life ever since. Real estate investing works. And he picked up on that bug. He picked up on that excitement and the proximity around not just the coaching, not just the having access sandwiched with his office between my office on one end of the hall and Mike's office on the other end of the hall and his office kind of in the middle. It's not about just physical proximity and the ability to ask a question or hear us talk, overhear a conversation, but it's about the proximity to the mindset. And it's the mindset that is the thing that leads people to success. Do you have what it takes to build a successful real estate investing business or scale your existing business to the next level, but you feel like you've hit a brick wall and there's something holding you back? If you answered yes, then my team of experienced real estate investor, business development consultants wants to talk to you. This is your opportunity to get paid while you learn the business. But this is not a coaching program, it's not daycare or mentoring. It's hands-on learning where you'll put in the work and we'll guide you through every step to split deals and make money together. I'm always looking for ways to expand my real estate investing business into new markets, create more passive income, and expand my hard money lending business. And my team of professional real estate investor coaches are always looking for ways to make more money by helping students close more deals. So we put our heads together and decided to bring on a small number of apprentices each month. This isn't for everyone, and there are a few requirements to being accepted into the program because this is the only program that we get paid on deal splits. If you're ready for the next level, are ready to join our success team, work directly with one of the experienced real estate investors on my team, and you're willing to put in the work and follow our guidance, go to realestatemogul.com/success to learn more. You'll learn what I'm looking for, how the program works, what you get from us, and what we'll expect from you. So do it right now. Go to realestatemogul.com/success. Now, the whole conversation, as I mentioned, came up because we were looking at this cohort of students, and some of them were sprinting to success. In fact, 3 coaching students, the conversation really came up because today, 3 of our coaching students were closing deals today. And 3 independent students, one of the students was closing 2 deals. So there was a number of deals just closing today. And as we were doing our weekly coaching checkup and see how our student groups are doing, this conversation came up as of today. And so one of the things that Mike brought up in that conversation as we were talking about, hey, that's fantastic. Like, 4 more closed student deal checks up on the board. That's really cool. And he told me a story about one of the guys who had been in the program for about 3.5 to 4 months. And every single conversation that this gentleman had, whether it is in one of the weekly, multi times a week, we have coaching calls and coaching sessions. So, and they're usually done via Zoom, so you can see each other and talk and engage. And almost every conversation, whether via Zoom, via phone, for the first 3.5 to 4 months that he was in the program, there was almost a heaviness of doubt that preceded and sort of encompassed his body language and the tone of his voice, because he'd never closed a real estate deal before. He had seen all of the YouTube channels and the other podcasts and the Facebook groups and everything where people were having success, but he had never experienced success himself. And his tone and his conversational voice, there was always a sentiment of doubt in the conversation every time he spoke about real estate investing, what he was doing, what was happening in his business, how things were progressing. There was always an element of doubt. And Mike made this observation that in the last 24 hours, and this was 24 hours before the deals closed, and he was the gentleman that had 2 deals closing. They were 2 triplexes right next to each other that both needed some work, and he wholesaled both of them for a really handsome payday. In the last 24 hours, right before the deals closed, we had a coaching call and a coaching session. And Mike said for the first time, his tone and his voice and his body language were bright. And his belief in the fact that real estate investing works was all of a sudden there. And Mike could see it. And all of the other students could see it, and they could feel his energy. And so what it made us ponder and think about was how proximity to positive reinforcement makes such a big difference. And yet sometimes even being connected and in close proximity to positive reinforcement, like coaching sessions multiple times a week, still isn't enough to change the mindset, the belief, the tone of the person until they experience it themselves. And so it brings me to this concept that, the 6 inches of gray matter between your ears is the most important thing that affects your success or your failure as a real estate investor. Can you get the mindset right early on? Can you plug into the right people that have a track record of success and not only a track record of real estate investing success, but a track record of coaching people to success? Because those are 2 very different skills. It's always funny to me because I'm a huge believer in personal development and personal education and plugging in and learning from other people. It's always fascinating to me to watch, especially in social media, where people are talking about, I want to see my coach doing X, Y, and Z. I want to see that they're an active real estate in the market today. And there's a component of truth to that, especially in the last decade where we've been in a bull or an upswing real estate market ever since the down crash of the 2008 Great Recession. Real estate has been nothing but on an upward trajectory. And so there's a lot of real estate education out there, some good, some bad, some neutral, that doesn't bring and carry with it that long tail of experience. And so when somebody's looking for plugging into proximity, what are the things that they're looking for? They should be looking for experience. They should be looking for activity. They should be looking for longevity in the business, but they should also be looking for, does this person have the track record and ability to coach someone? And in that coaching, it's not just about teaching a technical skill. Right? This particular gentleman and, the 3 students that closed deals today, and this particular gentleman who had sort of a negative, doubtful tone around him, is a good guy. But he hadn't grasped onto the belief that real estate investing was going to work for him. And then in the last 24 hours, that mindset shift took hold, and all of a sudden he believed because he could see it happen. And so how do you switch your mindset onto a position of bright belief early on in the process and not wait weeks, months, even years for some people to hit that trajectory? And that was one of the observable differences. Henry in my office works here on the team. He went from deciding he wanted to do it to launching his business and side hustle, following the exact processes that we teach our coaching students. He just happened to be in the office and I was teaching him, and Mike was teaching him what to do, how to do it. But he had a bright mind and a mindset of belief right from the beginning, because all he ever hears every day when he comes into work is real estate investing success. He sees it, he hears it, he believes it because that's what he's been around. And so we were trying to look at that and ask ourselves, how do we create that environment when people proximity wise, physical proximity aren't here in the office, but there's a physical distance, right? The proximity there's distance there, but there's still proximity in connection, right? We're still connecting via Zoom. We're still connecting via a phone call. We're still connecting via email. We're connecting, but there's distance. How do we bring that to the table? And that was kind of the root of our question. And it went deeper, and it made us ask those questions around, why do some people succeed and some people fail? And the number one thing that we can look to and connect is that mindset. Because I'm going to back up and I want to give a couple of other things. One of the things that we focus on a lot in our coaching program is, number one, doing the right tasks, right? If you do the right tasks in the right areas on a consistent basis, results are inevitable. It doesn't mean you're going to close a deal, but results are inevitable. So the right tasks in the right geography, right areas, on a consistent basis produces something, okay? What it produces is dependent on two things. It's dependent on your level of skill, and it's dependent on your level of effort. So one of the things that we teach our students, assuming that we're going to do the right tasks in the right areas on a consistent basis, how do we measure skill and effort? Well, this comes down to KPIs, or the key performance indicators. So when a student comes into our program and begins working with one of our coaches, one of the questions that we ask them early on is, number one, what are your goals? Where do you want to be? And at the end of this program, what has to happen for you to look back on this experience and claim it as a success and say that this was a good investment, this was time well spent, and it's been a success. And so we ask the student, where do they want to go? What are their goals? And then we ask them how much time, i.e. effort, how much time are they able to put in? And the amount of time is sometimes a choice and sometimes a result of just other things going on in their life. And there's two answers. I'm going to do this on a part-time basis, or I'm going to do this on a full-time basis. Now, in my book, a full-time basis is anything where you're working this full-time as your primary gig, and you're going to spend 40 plus hours a week. You're going to spend no less than 40 hours a week, and it's your only focus. That's full-time. Anything less than full-time, anything less than 40 hours a week, down to around 5 to 10 hours a week, there's got to be at least an hour a day to 2 hours a day. And that doesn't always have to come, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It could be 5 hours on a Saturday. It could be an hour a week in the evenings during the week, and then 5 hours on a Saturday. So 5 to 10 hours on the low end. That's what I would consider part-time. And so what we do is we hand the student, based on their goals, based on what they want to accomplish and what would result in this program being a success, and then how much effort or time they can put into their business, we hand them a sheet of KPIs, those key performance indicators. And so there's a part-time list of KPIs and there's a full-time list of KPIs. These KPIs, these key performance indicators, are the things that you do when your feet hit the floor every morning. These are the things that you do. And if you do them at a sufficient level of skill, you can expect your results to be positive, i.e., you can expect a payday in real estate. Now, people then sometimes ask, well, is that a guarantee? Well, what we have to do then is we have to take the KPI, which is measuring predominantly effort, and I'm going to talk about how we measure skill in the KPI in a moment. Most KPIs measure effort, and then one of our KPIs measures skill. And so the answer to the guarantee is it's not a guarantee until your skill gets to the level of proficiency that you can now go create and produce results. So you have to get your level of skill up. So there's never a guarantee, because there's two things. There's effort and skill. So if somebody does the effort, okay, they do the KPIs and they put in the effort, but they're not getting the result, then we know that it is a skill problem. Okay, they put in the effort, but they're not getting the result. They're not getting a deal closed, but they're putting in the work. We know there's a skill problem. If they put in the effort and are getting the result, then we know that their effort is being input at a level of skill that is adequate to produce the result. So if you follow what I'm saying, KPIs measure your effort. And if the KPIs are being accomplished, your effort is there. If the results, the closed deal isn't there based on your effort, it's a skill problem. So we can look back to and we can fix the skill problem. That's always a fixable thing. Then we can look at if you are doing the effort and you are producing the result, your skill level is at a level of adequacy. You're sufficiently skilled to produce the result. Now, what you have to do is repeat that process. Keep your skill level up and continue to repeat the effort, and you continue to repeat the results. I'm going to give you another good example. And this is another example here in my office. So a gentleman that I've known for a long time recently ended up coming to me and saying, hey, I want to get into this world of real estate investing, and I want to do this. Would you work with me? And so in this particular case, rather than coaching the person, what I said is, yeah, I'll partner with you. And here's what I'll do. I'll coach you. I'll mentor you. You do the work. We're going to set up a compensation structure that is beneficial because I'm going to do none of the day-to-day. I'm not going to do the day-to-day. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to be the advisor. I'm going to help you do the right things. And I'm going to fund the growth and the launch of the business, i.e. I'm going to put up the money for the marketing. I'm going to put up the money for whatever we need to put up the money for. I'm going to be that passive partner participant. And you're going to do all the work. And what I said is, I know that what happens is, in general, when that type of a business relationship is created at the very beginning, that's a successful relationship for everybody. Everybody's happy with it because the person that wants to get started doesn't have the knowledge. The person that wants to get started says, okay, I don't have a financial risk. And somebody else is going to put up the money, someone else that already has the experience. And it feels good to everybody at the beginning. The problem is, downfield, 3 months in, 6 months in, a year in, when that person that at the beginning did not have the knowledge and did not know how to make the money, all of a sudden they're 6 months, 9 months, 12 months in, and all of a sudden they do know how to make the money. And so the structure of that partnership is really important for the long-term success. And I'll just give you a quick framework of how I approach this. And then I want to tell you what the results are with working with this particular gentleman. Because this once again goes back to mindset and proximity and skill and effort. So mindset, proximity, skill, and effort. And the structure was simply this. When we go make a profit, we're going to pay all of my funding money, whatever I've funded in for marketing, for direct mail, for systems, for everything. We're going to pay me back my marketing dollars first. After that, we're going to pay you a monthly salary. And then after that, we're going to split the profit 70-30, 70% going to you because you're going to do 100% of the work and 30% of it going to me, long-term, long tail. And so what that strategy does is it makes the reward of the effort a year down the road when my regular coaching is not as needed because the systems are operating, the business is running, the deals are flowing, the checks are cashing, and the person that I today helped learn the business then feels like now they know the business and they don't need me any longer by structuring it in such a way that marketing dollars paid back first, that person takes a salary first out of profits, and then they take the lion's share of the profit after that. They never feel like I'm riding along for 50% of the deal. So This is a side note that says if you're in that role ever of creating relationships like this, think not only short term, but think long term. Because if you didn't think long term on that deal structure, you'd get 6 months in and one of the two people is going to feel like they're doing all the work and you're taking the same amount of money out of the deal. And that's not quote unquote fair. Okay, well, and that's probably an accurate statement. It might not be fair. And fairness in business is one of those things that is what creates long-term success in a partnership in particular. Partnerships are hard, but they do create, they can be good if the structure adequately compensates and supports everyone's particular role. And so let's talk about where this particular person is. 45 days in from launching the business to 45 days in, had flipped 2 deals and made $20,000. From there, has built a pipeline that is set up to get on pace that by the end of the year will have produced over $300,000. And so the goal in the first year for this person was to make $300,000, and that by the end of the year to be on a pace, on a monthly run rate that would be $1 million business in the second year. That's the objective, and that was the goal going in. And so why did it happen? Why is it happening? Well, it's happening because there was a mindset of belief. You know, this person working with me was in proximity. They're working out of my office. I'm not teaching them anything that we don't teach through all of our coaching programs, but there was proximity and there was belief. The mindset going in was 100% not if this is going to work, but how fast until we get the first payday. How long until it works for you who's never done this before. And so what was interesting was a conversation when we closed that first deal. And, you know, I had a little bit more involvement at the beginning of the business, and we're still in the earlier phases of the business. We're about 90 days in to the business now. But when that first deal closed, this person came to me and said, you know, I believed it from the beginning because I've seen it in your life for the last 20 years. But it just became 100% real to me. And here's what became real in the current market. Not a single thing that you told me was going to happen did not happen. Everything you told me happened exactly like you said it was going to happen, down to the fact that that first deal was a difficult one to get across the finish line. There were challenges all across the board. There were challenges with title. There were challenges with the title company and the closer. There were challenges with the seller. There were challenges with the buyer. There were literally challenges on every aspect of the deal that there could be a challenge on. I'm not even joking. Every side of the deal that could have a challenge had a challenge. And what it taught him in that particular moment, by me pushing, guiding, and giving those little nuggets of advice to say, okay, go do this. Okay, go do that. Okay, go do this. All along the way, most people would have given up on this deal or would have let the deal fall apart because they didn't know that they had to push it that hard. To the tune of, hey, we're going to call a mobile notary and get the mobile notary out to the hospital and meet the seller at the hospital and then go up into the ICU to get her husband to sign. Like literally that level of challenge, right? They can't go into the title company. They can't have a mobile notary come to their house. So how are we going to solve the challenge? What are we going to do? Well, let's figure it out. Let's spend $150 and get a mobile notary out there and just make it happen and make the seller's problem of this burdensome house go away, right? title company issues, closers not pushing things to closing, not following up with paperwork, and us doing the follow-up and making sure that all ducks are in a row, finding out they aren't, and then saying, let's get our ducks in a row. To the buyer, and the buyer's hard money lender funding and having challenge, like every single thing that could go wrong probably went wrong. And we systematically solved every single one of the challenges. Because in my mind, this wasn't a question of, does this work? And is this worth it? This was a question in my mind of, okay, what obstacles do I have to overcome for this payday? And that was the mindset that I shared with this gentleman, my partner, and business partner in this business. And then he picked up the mindset and he said, okay, so my mindset is I just have to solve problems. Okay. If I solve problems, I get payday. If I don't solve problems, I don't get payday. But there was never a lack of belief that the deal was going to close. And so as I bring this full circle, there's a couple of things that I want us to close with. And that is this. Why do some people succeed and others fail? I think it's because some people give up too fast at the first sign of a challenge. They don't have the belief and the mindset that it's not if this is going to work, it's how long is it going to take me to make it work? And they hit a roadblock and they give up. A great story from one of our other students right now. He's been around real estate investing for the last decade. I'm not even kidding. For the last 10 years. In fact, he sent us a picture of a goal card that he has. And on his goal card, it said, it was dated 2012. And in 2012, he wanted to close his first real estate deal. He worked for the last decade on and off real estate and never accomplished that goal. And got enrolled in our program about 6 weeks ago, maybe 5 weeks ago, just over a month ago. And he closed his first deal last week. And he got a $5,000 payday. And that was 10 years in the making. So this overnight success. So when you think about it, he joined our program, he followed our steps, he got his skill to a level of adequacy, and he put in the effort, something that he had not done for a decade of having this goal and wanting it to happen. He got into the program, he did it, and in just over a month, got his first $5,000 payday. That's life-changing, but it's also the 10-year, the decade-long overnight success. Because on the surface, it looks like, wow, he got into our program and he just crushed it and made it happen in a month, and wow, that's so fast. What people don't see is the 10 years of struggle, frustration, on again, off again, challenge, but never having the goal go away. He always had the goal. He just didn't have the support. He didn't have the belief. He didn't have the mindset. He didn't have the skill, and he didn't put in the right effort to make it happen until recently. And once he was there, it was the 10-year overnight success. And so a lot of times what you see on the surface may not be the full picture. And so what I encourage you to do, if you're trying to go into real estate and make real estate investing happen for the first time, what I encourage you to do is, number one, start working on your mindset. Real estate investing success is not a question of does it work? The question is, will you get your skill to a level of adequacy that the effort you put in produces the results that you want? If you make that your commitment, you too can have success as a real estate investor. If you're already a successful real estate investor trying to go to the next level, it's a mindset thing. The mindset is what holds you at the level that you're at. Once you start to believe that you can unlock the opportunity to go to the next level and hit that next plateau, and then go to the next level and hit that next step and hit the next plateau and the next step, once you unlock your mind and begin to believe and put in the actions and figure out how to measure, is my skill and effort working towards the result at an adequate level of skill and adequate level of effort? Anything is possible. And I say that with the most sincere belief. Anything is possible. The question is, will you put in the work? Friends, my name is Rob Swanson. I hope this gave you some encouragement. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into, there are people out there that work a long time and then all of a sudden, boom, it clicks and it happens. If you've been working a long time and want to make it happen and want to make it click, start to believe, start to change your mindset, get in proximity of people that are going to encourage that mindset, like Henry did, like our students do, like the gentleman I've partnered with does. Take that next step, take your mindset to the next level, and go make it happen. Friends, we'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Do you have what it takes to build a successful real estate investing business or scale your existing business to the next level, but you feel like you've hit a brick wall and there's something holding you back? If you answered yes, then my team of experienced real estate investor business development consultants wants to talk to you. This is your opportunity to get paid while you learn the business. But this is not a coaching program, it's not daycare or mentoring. It's hands-on learning where you'll put in the work and we'll guide you through every step to split deals and make money together. I'm always looking for ways to expand my real estate investing business into new markets, create more passive income, and expand my hard money lending business. And my team of professional real estate investor coaches are always looking for ways to make more money by helping students close more deals. So we put our heads together and decided to bring on a small number of apprentices each month. This isn't for everyone, and there are a few requirements to being accepted into the program because this is the only program that we get paid on deal splits. If you're ready for the next level, are ready to join our success team, work directly with one of the experienced real estate investors on my team, and you're willing to put in the work and follow our guidance, go to realestatemogul.com/success to learn more. You'll learn what I'm looking for, how the program works, what you get from us, and what we'll expect from you. So do it right now. Go to realestatemogul.com/success.